Hi, good night, Tobago. And we are live once more on another beautiful Monday night, I might say, with For the Hour. My name is Edison Thomas. I will be leading tonight's discussion live in Tobago Updates Television Studios. Good to have you, Tobago. Good to have you in studio with us this afternoon. I hope that you had a beautiful start off to your week. You know, I always say Monday is the opportunity to get the week to start off right? And I hope that, we or the persons on the island really got that Monday to put you in a vibe to produce for the rest of the week, all right? Also, I want to extend congratulations to Mr. Hakeem Stewart, who would have won Pan American Gold in the discus throw over the weekend. You know, one of our star athletes, really and truly, in this island. And, we hope that he continues to soar to new heights, and we hope that he continues to get the recognition and the investment in himself that he deserves. All right. So congratulations to Mr. Hakeem Stewart. Hopefully, when he comes back, he would come on the show. We could have some discussions about that. All right. But tonight discussion, where we're going is that we want to double back a little bit on the Tobago Carnival, on the topic of the Tobago Carnival, as it relates to the artists of Tobago Carnival. All right. We always hear it's not we want to have the discussions because it's not that because we want to tear down anybody or tear down the progress, but we want to be able to scrutinize and give criticism so that better can be done for the subsequent years. All right. And as as good as it went in some aspects, we can't sit and say, okay, it was perfect, so that it would be a well-oiled machine for the next year. There were some hiccups. Some stakeholders weren't, in fact, fully satisfied with how stuff went down, and we amongst ourselves as Tobagonians can come together and scrutinize and give constructive criticism so that in subsequent years we get it right and we could get a well-oiled carnival, piece of carnival machinery that does well for all persons involved, whether it be the artists, the different cultural stakeholders, and most importantly, the partakers, the revelers, right? And the Tobagonians and the tourists and the domestic tourists who come to enjoy and take part in Carnival. All right. So we have on set with us to push tonight's discussion. All right, Mr. Gerard Balfour. His sobriquet is GMB. GMB. All right. And so we will have this discussion tonight on Tobago Carnival and how we can do better to improve moving forward. As I say, Mr. I call you GMB tonight
Right.
because I know he's played the pan thing too, and
Yeah.
there's called a pan man too. So I
Correct.
don't know which one to hit you with, the
Anyone,
GMB or pan
you,
man.
anyone you
All
feel
right,
it.
good. Right. So as I was saying before, it's not necessarily to tear down what the work of the administration, which I think is good work, good intention work, right? But it's for us to really take a stock of everything we could do better on and improve. But
Yeah.
I just want to get your immediate. We had Simba Lion and all these people come on in immediately after and give their views on how they thought the carnival went. But I
Yeah.
just want to hear from you how you thought it went.
I think the carnival was good. I mean, as we know, there's always room for improvement. But in terms of the energy, and that's where it starts from. It starts from the energy. I think the energy was way different to last year. As we go forward, I think it is going to grow. So I mean, there's always room for improvement. Certain things that could have worked on a little better, but sometimes that comes with time.
Right. Yeah. In the
Yeah, so-
experience of getting it right, sometimes you need to get something wrong to know
Yeah,
in which you need to, in the places you need to go.
Yeah,
I guess
correct.
I'm guessing even the more established carnivals like the Trinidad Carnival, they would have gotten decades of experience,
and error.
trial and error for
Mhm.
them to come up with this well-oiled machinery now. And so
Yes.
now that we have to also have that experience, right?
Yes.
But in terms of the from the view of the artist,
Mhm.
right? How has it been from the view of the artist? I mean, you could speak for yourself. I don't know if it is that you would have your colleagues that would have given you certain experiences as well.
All right. So I think I could only talk for myself and
Mhm.
anybody who I worked with
Mhm.
over the season. I think where in terms of the radio stations did do their justice.
Mhm.
In Tobago, for some reason, there's a culture though that if it is that I with your friends,
Mhm.
they don't want to help.
Mhm.
So we had differences. I could say it. We had differences with the radio station. This year, I think 24-hour local, or let me say 20 hours of local. And that is what we needed as artists to
Mhm.
push. Tambourine, I don't think Tambourine did it this year. And I think that was because of personal reasons.
Right.
But when we operate like that, nobody wins.
True.
Yeah, so it is good because things actually was different to last year, and I know that growth is a process.
Right.
You understand? So for me, I think that we had enough airplay. In terms of the support of the people, I don't think that we had it. Like I don't think that I had it. Even given the fact that I did some great songs this season,
Songs, multiple
Yeah,
songs.
I have a collaboration with Preedy, a collaboration with Castan Cupid, and also I did a rhythm called the Red Tag Rhythm, where I have about 5 Tobagonians on it.
Right.
And to me, everybody sounded great. But this year, we didn't really get the support from the general public.
Right.
But as I say, how I view things, with time and consistency, it could work out. So I didn't have no big problem this season. The Soca Monarch, that's our next story. I don't know if you're
we will get into that. We will get into that. Right? But one thing is, there's one thing, and because I know that you're a producer also.
Yeah.
There is one thing in terms of the music and producing the songs, but in terms of an artist, the main job of the artist is to perform.
Yeah.
Were you guys, in terms of the whole carnival season, were you guys, or let me say you, given enough opportunities to perform? And I would say this because that's also on the private side and the public side.
Yeah. So I got talk. I will talk for the Tobago artists here with this one. No, I don't think that the Tobago artists got enough justice in terms of events, in terms of stage shows. I don't think that they were highlighted enough. We were highlighted enough. I don't think that we were highlighted enough. And that stemmed from DJs, that stemmed from promoters, but if it is that the artists don't start to stand up for themselves, then promoters or anybody else wouldn't see the artist as somebody they should take on.
Right.
Because what we have is, we have a lot of artists in Tobago, yes, but we don't have a unified front. We have this artist here, this artist here, this artist here, this artist here. So if there's any problem, like for instance, Calypso has an association, right?
Yeah.
Pan also has it. Sports have a body. In terms of the Tobago soca front or the Tobago music, we don't have a unified front. Right. And therefore, we wouldn't get the results that we are barking for, because one person might be for it and two might see an opportunity here and just go with the opportunity without standing up for something that is solid.
Bigger. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I really saw, even that it was last year and it repeated itself this year. Carnival is soca, and at the end of the day, you need soca music, that's the blood.
Yes.
Right? And you have situations where you have a lot of Tobagonians producing soca music, but we kind of second preference to the Trinidad artists. That, I mean, I understand the Trinidad artists more popular and they would have music that are around for a little bit more, right? But what can be done so that the Tobagonian and the persons who partake in Tobago festivities could hear that music so that you all could get your standing when it comes to these promotions?
All right. A couple years back, when I started to sing in 2015, I remember the kind of music that were being produced to the radio stations. And one of the reasons why they were saying that they're not playing the songs is because they find the quality not good and whatnot. Come fast forward to this year. Look at the song that was the main song. Why? Because they try to use it as a laughing stock.
Right.
You understand? But by doing that, it become popular. It become on everybody's lips.
Yeah.
Till the person win.
Right.
So it is very much possible for things to happen where in terms of artists releasing music and it is on everybody's lips. Over here, just need to stop being biased and realize that by pushing one person, you push a lot, you know, because you push the front of Tobago in a sense of representation.
Right.
You understand? The person don't really need that they're representing themselves. They come from home and we want to export this product. So I think the mentality of the people, is one need to change for us to actually go out there.
And the thing is too, you talk about the main song being kind of a parodious kind of thing, and it catch popularity because of that. But we have seen over the years, even coming from the Chutney Soca, even from regular mainstream groove and power soca, you have songs that come from of that nature that took off and became very popular as well, from all over the Caribbean. You understand? So even though in that case there is a space for that, right? But it can't always be the crying down standard. When in my opinion, time after time, Tobagonians have been upping their standard to meet to meet expectations. But what else can be done in terms of, do you think the timing, because if we can't Trinidad Carnival now, we have in December, sometime November, October, you're hearing releases coming out for February, March, right? Something can be done in that way, in that we have enough runtime for the artists to get.
It was done.
That was done.
It was done this year. And this is what I'm saying. People choose to ignore certain things, and they choose to just have fun, just do shopping, I find, because it was done, and they ignore it. They ignored a lot of good songs that came before.
That was done long in advance.
Yeah, that came out within a reasonable time.
Okay.
And started to play.
I heard talk about option Tobago Soca Monarch. Not Soca Monarch, Road March. That talk was going around in terms of culture. I want if you had any information about why wasn't that a route that they choose to go down. Because obviously that would be one of the ways you highlight the Tobagonian artists if there is a road march, right? And that those songs being played on the road right through. So you had any information about why the route of a road march wasn't taken?
It might sound unbelievable, but it's just people taking personal feelings and having it in public office.
Right.
So if they don't like certain people, and this might be an opportunity for certain people
to move up.
But they ain't seen the competition, so they know, they just canceling the whole thing. I've seen it happen countless times. So it's mainly the mindset of persons. They need to realize that by trying to block these things, you are keeping back not only 1-2 persons, you are keeping back the whole orange economy.
Right.
The road march was it was there. As far as I know, there was supposed to be a road march. Why it didn't happen, I don't know. But I will say it's people with personal feelings in public places.
Right. They might see a situation where, hey, this person might get more forward here and have an opportunity to win, so they cancel the whole thing.
These things happening.
And so, all right.
These things are happening.
And I say all this to say again, not to throw down anybody, but again, we have to get a well-oiled machinery when it comes to this carnival. Feelings had to be out of it. Whatever you may think or feel had to be out of it. Because at the end of the day, it's for the culture and the advancement of the culture. And obviously, the more successful Tobago Carnival is the more incentive we have amongst the people. Because it's not really the artist eating our food, but the man on the street eating our food when he's selling the doubles, he's selling the food, the soul food.
It's even more bigger than eating our food. You know, it's a representation of us.
Yeah.
To the world. You know,
Exactly.
Carnival is a product that is not a local product. It is a product made local to export.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, the vendors and thing, but it's more of our people developing an identity. We had the heritage, and we see how that dwindle down. We had the jazz. I think that is no more from next year. So what Tobagonians really have that we could see,
right,
you know, is a representation of us.
Right.
So when they started to take personal feelings and do certain things, they're damaging the whole thing.
Right. And okay, so let me move to one of the main opportunities for the Tobago artists to really showcase their talent for the season. That'll be Soca Titans, right?
Yeah.
Soca Titans. So, your experience on Soca Titans, how has it been? You went through the auditions and then the semis, the finals. How was that whole process for you?
For me?
Yeah.
It was an eye-opener for me. Everything that I witnessed is what my spirit always was telling me. But this time I saw it firsthand. Again, for me, it was a raw deal. You know, and it was blatant, and nobody did anything about it.
Right.
You know, I went through the auditions. They select what I wanted to select. Note well, I said they select what I wanted to select.
So you're saying the judging for auditions wasn't necessarily fair?
No. They select. And I'm not saying that it wasn't fair for me. You know, because
Before
I entered with 2 songs. One got in. The next one after the fact, they said that no person's supposed to have 2 songs in the finals. I could understand that. If they said before, it would be even better. But nonetheless. But when you look at the results, it doesn't really add up. Not only for me, it doesn't add up for a lot of artists that didn't make it to the finals.
And so we're talking even before we reach to the final point.
Yeah.
So you're saying that there wasn't fair judging in the rungs before the final?
There were fair judging for certain people.
Okay.
You know, to me, from based on I was there. My audition, I probably auditioned last. So I witnessed
everybody else.
A lot of the performances, and I not only looking at it from an artist point of view, I looking at it from a musician, producer point of view also. You know, and when I heard the results, I
do you think the judging panel that was at the semifinals?
No, it was
audition
straight into finals.
Audition, right. So the judging panel who selected the finalists, do you think they were sufficiently qualified and sufficiently knowledgeable to judge, to select?
I think judging is all about fairness, you know? Not qualifications, you know, because I mean it's music that we're judging, so it's something that we're listening. And they did present us a criteria.
Okay.
You know, so it's easy to follow what needs to be emphasized on when judging, right? There's a criteria. So qualified, I wouldn't say they're not qualified, because I mean we had a radio announcer, we had an artist, we had a music teacher, we had Sharon, and we had the guy from New York, D-Roy. The judging for me, I got my best scores from the persons that not in the industry.
Right. From the persons on the panel that not in the music industry.
They are in the industry, but they're not a songwriter, they're not a DJ, they're not a singer, a producer, you know, but they know music.
Right.
One is a teacher, one is an announcer, so they're around music. And to me, their scores was very accurate.
Okay.
You know? But when I look at the other scores from the persons who are in the industry, that wasn't accurate.
And you're saying they selected who they wanted to select for the final. So do you think there were persons deserving of being in that final with you that didn't make it? And you're saying that you thinking that they're of the same quality that you produce on the day that didn't make it to the final?
Yeah, there are persons that could, you know, was to be in the finals. Yeah, there were persons that was to be in the finals. And judging on their performance on that night.
On the audition night.
You know, how they hold the note. We're not talking about nothing after the fact. We're talking from the audition. Judging on that night's performance. If they go back, there are more than 2 persons that should have been in the finals.
Right. And conversely, do you also think that there were persons undeserving? Don't call no name.
Undeserving.
Of being in the final. Because in that case, if everybody in the final deserves to be in the final, then you can't really fault the judges.
Everybody will believe that they want to be in the final, right? But these were the judges a judge have to be fair.
Right.
You know, not biased in no way, form, or fashion. A judge have to be fair. As I said, there were people. Yes, there are people who I judging on the performance on that night. If you're really following a criteria, as said, no, they would not have qualified.
Right. So you could necessarily say that you see hints of a little bit of favoritism playing in somebody's favor. I mean, you see it also in the bigger competitions, even in the National Soca Monarch. Sometimes
I don't know if favoritism
is
the word. You know, because sometimes they'll try to pull. Favoritism is not the word.
Not the word. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that they favor the artists.
Okay.
They just prefer them.
Oh, okay. So they prefer them over somebody else.
Yeah, because of personal.
Right. Personal.
Whatever.
Yeah, personal vendettas, whatever the case may be. Because sometimes you even see that in the National Soca Monarch. Somebody might come up with a good song. Yeah. However, and this is always be in, like, if you see it a lot to the power category, they try to give the popular song the title, right? Not necessarily most popular performance. And I'm always thinking, Soca Monarch supposed to be a performance because they come to perform on the day. Road march is what the people want.
Yeah.
So you see persons come and perform, they're out of breath. They had 5 shows for the week, so they can't hit the notes where they're supposed to be hitting. And so their voice cracking up on stage. Yeah. And the performance just all over the place, but they still give them the title because it's the most popular song, right? So you see it.
I think in Soca Monarch in Trinidad, they had a good amount of points for crowd response.
And yes, the crowd response also.
Yeah, this is why people used to bring the big crew and these things. But in ours, we didn't have no points for crowd response. That was not on the criteria.
The final or the audition?
The finals.
Oh, okay. So you're releasing some news there. Yeah. Were you guys privy to the judges scoring after the finals?
I could talk for me. Yeah. Okay. Willingly, I'm not sure. But yeah, I was privy to see.
Okay, so like it's not like a situation where you just finished the competition, the places were giving out, and they were like, okay, this is the judges' sheet, the scoring sheet right after the. Okay, so you had to do some digging and asking after the fact. So you could say for some of the other artists, they might have, if they didn't do any digging, they would have gotten it.
Yeah, they might. Yeah.
Okay, got it. All right, so I understand that there was also a workshop in between the audition and the final.
Yeah.
What was done in that workshop?
I'm not sure.
You didn't go?
I came
Mm-hmm.
and I did a video and they told me to come back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I did come back. However, I didn't reach inside. I was to come back later in the evening and yeah. I didn't
Also,
work
like,
out.
so other engagements keep you preoccupied?
Yeah,
or something
because
like
at the time, and then they told me they could not deal with me at that time. I was to come back in the evening, but
Right.
it didn't really happen.
So you're not aware with what the
Exactly what took
topics-
place, but
okay.
I will, to my belief, I know breathing exercises and these things that, you know, a vocal coach will do. I think that is what.
What do you think about that, though? Do you think the Tobago artists, they needed that kind of thing?
I think they need it.
Okay.
Yeah, but the time frame that it was done, nothing much could have been done within that time frame.
Yeah, because if you're
Realistically,
breathing exercises at one time thing, not going to help, right?
No.
That is like ongoing. Because I remember one of the points in time when I was going secondary school, Sherwin came. He was doing a school tour, right? And he told us, he said, if you're doing this soca thing, you have to take it seriously. Because he's a man, when he realized that that is the path he wanted to go, he had to work on his vocals. You know, Sherwin have vocals to kill, right? And Sherwin, he would have said that he would have been running long distance to make sure that he have the lung capacity in order to sustain certain notes.
Yeah.
You know, making sure that he have the endurance on stage. Because you know he had the energy on stage too, even doing this for so long, he had the energy.
Yes.
So you could see that he was continuously putting in the work.
Yeah.
Right? But something like a one-day workshop where you're just giving some...
Nah, I don't think much results could come out of it. And I mean, I open for a discussion about that, whoever things differ. It is unnecessary though, you know, but this should be more of a work up to Carnival, Soca, Monarch, you know. So you do it off season, over a couple of months, a training program or some kind of thing that people could register and come and be a part of or whatever. And you keep that right into our season. You would not get much results, or if any at all, in 4 days.
Right. And stuff like songwriting and tips on production and everything like that. Is that something you think that the artist could also benefit from before, in advance, or?
Yeah.
Like they could do workshops. So because I'm saying this because we need to create like a culture of creativity for the soca artists, a platform. Let me say, that's the word I want to use. A platform where you have multiple artists prospering because of, not despite of. Because right now I feel in Tobago is despite of all the fight down, despite of all the structures being against you, and people in high places being against you. You're still trying your best to prosper, right? So, in terms of the artists being subject to workshops coming up to the carnival, whereas the producers on board, right? You have the vocal artists on board. You come together probably two times a month, a fortnight, or something like that. Because it could get expensive, and you know they're always crying about money, right?
But these are things that the House of Assembly should invest in, because this is something that you could actually reap from. This is something that you could export. This is something that you could nurture. This is something you could grow. You understand? If we have a steady every annual workshop to carry on vocal training, breathing exercise, the same thing basically that they did. Songwriting, come together as people could come and just shoot out ideas for writing songs, you know, little seminars for artists. These kind of things is what will help open the minds.
Right.
You understand? And unlock different parts of artists that they didn't even know.
Right.
But we need to have it over some months. You know, something is a workshop that cannot be done in a week.
And even if you have the artists come in, because say for instance in Pan, I always say Pan, and you know the structure in Pan because you have been in Pan a long time.
Yeah.
The Pan structure, when it comes to administration, workshops, the training, everything, right, is up to par. Arrangers, when arrangers come in months in advance, right? And you're training months in advance for this thing. And I would like to believe that the arrangers are being paid by the bands.
Arrangers
You could correct me.
Arrangers just get paid pretty nice.
By the bands?
Yeah.
Right. And even if they place well in the panorama,
Yeah.
they get a cut of the monies and stuff as well.
Yeah, a little
right?
incentive on that.
Now, something like that could be done for the artist, because if you want to, if you're an artist, you have to invest in your craft. Yeah. So you invest in your music. You want to go and you go by the best producer in Tobago, right? But you also have to produce your. Yeah, that's not the only thing, because you also have to perform. You have to give a good performance when you go out there, so people could spend their money on you.
Yeah.
Right. So you think that something like that, in terms of what the artist would, you think that if it is that they have a workshop that is put on and they bring persons who are proven to train, the artist will be willing to pay for that kind of.
I will be willing to pay for it.
You yourself?
Yeah, because I mean that is our opportunity. That is it, and especially if you want to be a professional artist, dealing and being around people who are actually within the market, or people with the experience to guide you and show you things. Yeah, you pay money for that.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
All right, so we had to take a short break. When we come back, we'll continue with your discussion and how the Tobago Carnival went. Stay tuned to Tobago, we'll be right back.
The Division of Settlements, Public Utilities and Rural Development has relocated its Crown Point office to Glen Road in Scarborough to better serve you, our clients. Our main office is located at the corner of Glen Road and Glen Road Branch Number 1, the building formerly occupied by Coastal. Our grant and electrical inspectorate services can be accessed at Number 2 Montessori Drive in Glen Road, Building 1 and 2.
Hey, hello guys, welcome. Come have a seat. Oh, this is so stylish and I love the fabric. Darlings, you must tell us where you got your new furnishings.
We got them locally at Standard. They've got new chic European furniture, crafted from high quality material.
Oh, Standard?
No, it's Standard, their brand new Hive collection.
Experience luxurious European furniture at a price you will love. The Hive collection, now exclusively available at Standard.
Light up the Christmas with the best fiber. Surf more channels, switch to Amplia. Thousands in prizes, plenty smart TVs. 1 year free service and free groceries. We surfing with Amplia. We winning with Amplia. We binging with Amplia. We winning with Amplia. Sign up now for 50% off plus a chance to win over $100,000 in prizes. Call 800-4663.
All right, and we're back and we continue the discussion on Tobago's Carnival, how we could do better, and especially we do better for the artists as well. We want all the stakeholders of Tobago Carnival to do well from the man selling food on the street, to the revelers, to all the artists, to the panists, all the pan bands. We want everybody to do well. All right, so we here at Tobago Updates tonight, what we're doing with is we are discussing from this viewpoint of an artist, how we can improve. All right, and we have Mr. Gerald Balfour, GMB, all right, what they call him Pan Man as well, all right, who is a producer, and he's also an entertainer, and he is here to give his side. Okay. All right. So we left off talking about the Tobago Soca Titans, the competition, which was the main outlet for the artists, the Tobago artists, to really showcase their talent in the Tobago space over the season. All right. And where I want to go, I want to look at the administrative side of things, right? Because one of the things I in my opinion, we always get tripped up with. We always go by word in Tobago, and that's something that we need to get right culturally. It's not that we always talking. We go do this and we go do that, and then we could always go back on the word. But we need to get the administrative things right, putting things in writing, making sure everything is in writing, so that nobody's ambiguous about what is the expectations are when it comes to both parties, right? So I wanted to ask you, GMB, when it comes to the Soca Titans, you went in, you do the audition, you do the finals, right? When you signed up, right, what was the registration process?
It was a very straightforward process. You just come and put on your name.
You put on your name, you put the song.
Yeah, the song, Sobriquet.
Right, the sobriquet. Is it that you're moving forward from the audition to the finals? Was there any contract that you signed to with a price structure of what were you supposed to get?
Nah.
There wasn't anything like that. And I would think, again, one of the things we need to get right is that administration need to be top notch, so that the artist needs to know what is expected of them.
This is why a solid workshop, bring in lecturers, people who know about it, bring in some consultants. So Tobago had somebody in charge of copyright organization of Trinidad and Tobago, but yet Tobagonians still don't know much about it. They
Right.
don't know much about a lot of things.
Right.
So like with contracts and things, artists, I learned that on my later,
Yeah.
artists who now coming out and really know, and people who know not helping artists.
Right. Right. And yes, and I see all that to see why we need to get things sorted out on the administrative side, so the artists know what is expected of them, and you would know the artist understands what you're willing to provide as an administration or the organizer of the event. So there is no situation where we could change up remote after the fact, right? And then you put yourself in hot water, right? I see all this is because this is not anything involving you, but we have currently artists speaking out on social media saying that he was not given his just due as was stated originally by the administration, right? The artist placed, a statement was given by a very official source from the administration stating that this is the price structure for first place, second place, all the way down to the finalists. But yet, an artist was complaining that they was not given the amount that was stated, right? So hence the reason why I asked if there is a situation where you come to the final, you make it through the audition, you get a contract, hey, this is the price structure. If you're placing this, you're going to get this. And so we now, as the organizers, can jump back and say,
And double back on the words.
on your words and say. So you're saying that no contracts moving on from audition to finals wasn't given.
No.
That's a big faux pas. I think.
Second year, trial
Yeah.
and error.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I didn't look into it much.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of artists that don't even study that.
Right.
You know, it's very few, a handful of us will inquire about certain things. You know, so I hoping that the organizers will start to do the right thing, you know. Even if you realize people don't know, that doesn't give you the right to hoodwink them.
Right.
You
And
know?
I would say the Trinidad artists that come in to perform, their contracts are ironclad
Yeah.
in terms of when you're supposed to pay them by. Sometimes they get paid the same night, checking their hand when they come off the stage, right? What type of band is supposed to be provided, if they're using a band, the instrument, the type of stage, everything. You understand? To protect the interests of the artists.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Tobago, we own people.
We don't even get water in a tent sometimes.
Exactly.
That's the respect.
Exactly. You can't even self get water. You understand? Outline for me, what are some of the expenses of the artists? Going into doing a production like the music, going into the performance on the night. What does an artist have to invest into his craft?
It's not the same. All artists, depending on who they're working with. But there's a course, right? Music production could go from $3,500 to $15,000, $20,000.
Okay.
Even more.
Right.
That's to get a song produced.
Right.
You talk about marketing yet. When you're going to perform, you have to get clothes. You have to look good. The artists have to look good. Yeah. So it's all these things. It's plenty money. It's plenty. And then to market your songs, you have to pay to blast it here. Pay to upload it and you know. So yeah, it's costly, man.
Right. And I would think for a production like Soca Titans, you have costs in terms of the dancers. You have to pay them. As I said,
Props.
costume, props. And I remember the conversation, the speech Marshall made about the quality of the performance when he said that he raising the when Mr. Montano put out how much ever he put out, he making back the money.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you gonna make back the money. You understand? But a regular artist, he go into the cardboard box because he try to minimize the cost. I would assume. So, in terms of the cost that the artist putting out for this one show, right? Do you think the price structure would have been sufficient for even for every finalist? Because I know the audition is auditions. They go up, you try your best. There's no really big cost associated other than the music you produced before.
Yeah.
But for the finals, is it that you're in a situation where if you reach the finals and you don't place, then you lose money? Are we talking about if you actually try to win, and you didn't just go up with cardboard props?
If it's feasible, no. I don't think right now. It could raise.
Okay.
You know, cost of living raises every day. And Soca Monarch is the least paid right now, I think. Because I remember I think Junior Calypso got more than Soca Monarch over here in Soca Titans. You know.
Junior Calypso nationally? Right here?
Yeah.
Serious?
I'm not sure about this year. Last year it was like that. I ain't too sure about this year, is as we talking here. You know, but when you check it out, when an artist had to put out on production and then to enter the competition, you had to pay dancers. If you in place up in the top 3, you in a deficit. You win.
And that necessarily doesn't incentivize our artists to come back next year.
And that is why you all have cardboard props.
Yeah. Because you're looking to cut costs.
Yeah, understand?
But you're saying,
if the price money raise, the standard should raise also.
And we're not talking about just the prize money, but just the participation. For everybody to participate, they must at least be able to break even.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And at least you know, hey, let me ask you this question. When did you know the price structure? When was that made?
Within reasonable time, you know.
A month before, 2 months before?
Nah, not so long because they didn't organize it. It was always a kind of quick.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is another complete.
Yeah, it's always a quick thing. But
Mhm.
I knew about it probably before the audition.
Mhm.
Yeah, a little before the audition, around
Right.
the same time.
So you at least know, all right, if I am placed again 10,000, so I had to keep my budget
Mhm.
within that. But again, you don't want to
Sell your product short.
exactly. You want to go in to win as
Mhm.
an artist. You want to win, you know. So, but I want to divert to the organization of it, the time frame. You said that is always a quick thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, you think they could do better with that?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I mean, and now people does feel a how when I talk.
Mhm.
Or just hear me out. I need to listen. Every year we'll have certain things on this island. Every year, annually, we sure. Every year, once God give me breath in my lungs, we having it. But we always rush in.
Right. Not just for carnival.
Jazz,
Mm.
heritage,
Mhm.
every single thing that we have to do on this island is always a rush. It's never, you can never see something building up proper anticipation, everything building up towards our event. Yeah.
Right.
Yes, they need to improve on that holistically.
Right. The date for carnival next year has already announced. And I always draw reference for Trinidad Carnival because, again, the machinery is so well established already. You have band launches for Trinidad Carnival sometimes in June, July of the year before. So we're not even talking 3 months before. We're talking 3 months after the last carnival. You have band launches for the next carnival. Costumes selling out by August for carnival of the next year, right? If we know that the date is set and affixed and we know the events that we want to put out, why can't we make commitments beforehand? What do you think is some of the keepbacks of making commitments and planning events beforehand?
The uncertainty.
Uncertainty from where?
Promoters and mass band leaders were uncertain up to a certain time for even this carnival. Remember I said when we start off the conversation, it's a trial and error. This was second year. So taking all of that into consideration. But a lot of things was unsure. You're unsure if this happening, how this happening, and them kind of things. And then when you're unsure, you can't really invest and say, I want to do this and I want to do that, and I ain't too sure what is happening.
Right.
So I guess planning of the event and rolling out the plans and them kind of thing from the people who are actually hosting it is what could give band leaders and soca artists and all these things a better idea and a more drive to do, you know, and do beforehand. Yeah. So the earlier they organize it and roll out what is the plan and how we're going to do it and what is the structure for this and thing, I think we'll have a smooth.
For the artists.
Yeah, time for everybody.
Right. What about moving to the private sector, right? The private promoters, the private event planners. You think they give Tobago artists enough opportunity to perform or no?
No, but a lot of the private promoters are being funded from around the same pool.
Okay.
So they kind of hold similar heads.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying the same people who, I want to say, managing the public events have a say in the private events also?
Somewhat. Some, not all.
Okay.
You know, some. But the people within the private sector, they are all somewhat connected. Whether through investments, and they are connected.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Was there improvement between last year and this year with the opportunities to perform on the private side?
Pardon?
Was there a improvement from last year to this year with the Tobago artists given opportunities to perform on the private side?
I honestly do have no problem with performances
Mhm.
over here.
Mhm.
You know, I believe in growth, but for like to be realistic, and I can't talk for myself, I can't be selfish. No, they don't
Okay.
create that platform for Tobago artists.
Okay.
No, they
So
don't.
you're saying
they don't.
in your network you do have a problem, but
I don't
for-
have a problem. I can't
but-
complain because, and you see, now if I was just doing soca,
Mhm.
I might have be complaining.
Right.
Am I playing pan?
Right.
I will sing here. I doing different things.
Right.
But for the soca, man, yes, they're not being treated fairly.
Okay. All right. All right.
Yeah.
So we had an issue last year where we had many events. I feel like the events were numerous, and there wasn't enough support going around with the events that was being thrown. We had boat ride here, and we had brunch, and these brunches and the boat ride going on same time, and so you had to make, and everybody kind of stretch in terms of that, right? Do you think the amount of events they had this year was sufficient, or it still need to come down some more? It could have increased some more.
Nah, it's sufficient.
Okay.
Yeah, it's sufficient. But what we need to see is the host taking control of the carnival. The host meaning the Tobago House of Assembly. Why? We need money to come in. We need money to circulate. If they are funding so many or part sponsoring so many events, you need to work with the orange economy. Everybody that they are sponsoring or part sponsoring it must be mandatory, so that money will be circulating right amongst the people.
Right. So you're saying it must have for a condition as for them to sponsor a certain event.
I think
you
so. If
must
that's what
bring
we
at
need to
least
do.
2-3 Tobago
You
artists.
must bring them.
Even if it's at pan side.
Yeah.
To
You
bring
must bring
entertainment.
Tobago talent. And if money is coming out of the vaults to help you with your product, then you need to help our Tobagonian.
Right.
You need to help other Tobagonians too.
Right. And I totally agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Not just in that sphere, but that should also be extended into many other spheres when it comes to construction and all these different
I'm
kind of things.
glad how you
as
said
well.
that, because one of the things that hurt my heart, I just shifting aside a little, is there was a point in time that we had our gym down for very long, the stadium. And nobody wasn't talking about it, but yet you hear so much money pelting to contractors right here who have resources and did not offer no help.
Right.
How can we continue doing this with the money and that is all? The money just go in there and stay there. You have a lot of things here that need building and helping, you know. And if they can't do that, then they should not have that. Yes, you go with this. No, because they're not helping nobody.
Right. On the road, though, we just see artists on the truck in Trinidad. On the day we're playing Pretty Mass, our artists performing the songs on the truck, right? Did we see any of that in Tobago this year?
I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't. I saw Trinidad artists performing on several trucks. In terms of Tobago artists, I personally didn't see it, so I can't say. I didn't see it.
Okay. That I mean, again, that's so sad, because I mean, we're missing a lot of opportunities to bring the Tobago artists up to standard. Because it's not like to say we can't do it, because we have examples of Tobago artists that make it. We talk about Sherwin Winchester, we talk about Princess Adana, we talk about...
How much of them make it from Tobago?
Exactly. And
this is the problem.
They had to bust with down in Trinidad with artists from
Trinidad. And when they really check it out, they even bust. There's no Tobagonian artist that bust more than Sherwin, Calypso Rose, Winston Spree, Scarborough, Winston Scarborough, the Fosto, and somebody I'm missing, Shadow.
And
Lord
those,
Nelson.
And we're talking about
They already
long gone. Them
who else?
them men producing music, well, except for Sherwin.
Because of the thinking that we have coming from above on top. Because if you are part sponsor, and again, let me say band leaders, but the band leaders must play Tobago music. You must tell your DJs play the Tobago music, and Tobago artists must have a chance to perform there.
Right.
It must.
Right.
Unless you are totally independent and you do what you want. But if you are being part sponsored under the Tobago House of Assembly, I think you're obligated to help a Tobagonian. The purpose is carnival. You're obligated to play Tobago music and pull up a Tobago artist.
Right. And saying, and as a touch on that, and I wouldn't always, it's not, I mean, the Trinidad artists always they're looking out for their own, right? In terms of collaboration, how has that experience been with the Trinidad artists? And we could speak for yourself, but in terms of what you've seen in the Circle Fraternity, how has that been? Is there a willingness of Trinidad artists to collaborate with us to produce products, or is it a difficult thing to do?
Well, for me, there's a willingness. Yeah. But for Tobago artists, I don't think there's a willingness. Contributing factors are, if it is that the Tobago artists not getting the respect here, Trinidad will not give us the respect. Right. If they see that Tobagonians by themselves not even supporting, they might come and stand next to you for a moment if it is glorious. But if they realize that you don't have a following or things ain't really thinking, nobody ain't really, you are no forward, they wouldn't see the need to come and give you a collaboration. Okay. Sometimes because there's a business side to that. Sometimes you have to pay artists to collaborate. Yeah. I never bounce up on that yet. I hope that I never have to, you know. But the thing with me, I don't even pick artists to say, well, all right, I'm going and collaborate. Sometimes it just happens. You know, and I thank God for that. You might be a social situation where you do the artist and it's like, where we do collaborate, we do something. Sometimes it just happens. They just hear my music, hear a piece of my song there, and they say they want to jump on. Right. So the opportunities you're seeing, it might be for us to really push our own for the persons outside to see. So what is the chance? What do you think is the chances of Tobago music bleeding over from Tobago Carnival, which is October? Because that's prime time. If you have music properly in October, it could go all the way to Trinidad Carnival. And the other carnivals. And the other carnivals during the year. What do you think the likelihood or the potential of Tobago artists moving and having popular songs for Trinidad Carnival, being up to the standard of the Trinidad artists, and even going on tour for the rest of the carnival for the rest of the year? What do you think is the likelihood of that happening? It's very much possible. As a matter of fact, it was laden. Tobago Carnival is a gift, you know. It's the last carnival in the year in the whole world, you know. Right. The last carnival, you know. Trinidad started off with Carriacou. They have carnival on the same dates, but they are the first two to have carnival. Right. We are the last. Our soca, we normally, before we have our carnival in October, it's October releasing music, September, October for National Carnival. Right. So it falls right in line. Right. But the support, it have to be there. It's that energy. You have to push the energy. You need to be proud. Tobago, you see, I don't know if it's a sense of identity. I always see Tobago with the own flag and the own color. You know, because we are different people. Don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about no self-autonomy thing or not like that. But I believe that have all them these big discussions. I believe that Tobagonians are people by itself. We are Twin Island Republic, but we are different in culture. You know, and I guess because we do have that sense of pride and identity. You understand? We always fall second or feel like we are second. They're not brave enough to lift nobody. You know. But if they happen to get that, with that now, we can move forward as a force. DJs have a pivotal role to play. Yes. are the ears of millions. They have access to millions. If you are not, all right. Hear what DJs over here does do. They'll play a Nyla. They'll play a next Trinidad artist. And they say, yeah, the artist will wheel it, pull up. If they mix that with a Tobago artist, no, they might even send it on your mic.
Right.
They play it, no wheel, no talk. Yeah, that's all local artists. Yeah, and switch on. You hear they play the next song, some Trinidad artist, and they pull up.
Hype.
When you hype in these songs is what attacking the subconscious minds of the listeners.
Right.
You understand? Sometimes you hear a song for the first time and the song ain't hot up in. You're like, what's up in he sing? But the more you play it and you hear announcer, wheel, you start to feel hype.
Yeah.
And the more you hear it, it attacks your subconscious mind. And it becomes a part of you start to sing the song. So DJs have to realize the potential and the power. And next eye opener for DJs, this is not me attacking DJs. Why I find you all should do it is because, look, for example, how many DJs we have in Tobago, right? They like to support Trinidad music. And I'm not against Trinidad music because I love a lot of them, and a lot of them does do good. How much of them is called Tobagonians to perform in Trinidad?
But, well,
how many DJs, if you see all DJ personals over here, they are fans to Trinidad DJs.
Okay.
But when you listen to them, they have potential over here, but they don't believe in themselves.
Oh.
They believe in Trinidad.
Right.
So they'll play like Trinidadians and they're going to rate up Trinidadians, but Trinidadians not rating up Tobagonians. Why? We are at a default in a sense that we need to start to support ourselves first and support each other first before we could get support from anybody else.
Right. And I would, that's the same MO, the Trinidadians support themselves first and then they bring everybody after. Anybody from down the islands, whether they be from Grenada, whether they be from the St. Lucians and all of them.
They have a local force that support.
And then they bring in everybody else on the collaborations after the fact.
You ever been to Grenada Carnival?
No.
All the fetes and all these parties and things is 2% Marshall or Trinidad music.
Right.
98% local. And it can even come like local because everybody's singing the songs because the radio stations, everybody that's the music, that's their music.
Yeah.
So they play it repetitively.
And you had never had any shortage of top class soca coming from Grenada for years.
Was this encouraging?
Yeah, we even had a Grenadian soca monarch. Then that's to tell you the results. All right, of pushing local and supporting your own.
And lifting you up.
Right. All right. So with that, I want to thank Mr. GMB for coming on tonight and having this riveting discussion. All right, it was really eye-opening as to some of the views that he got from the artist's perspective. All right, so I want to thank you. Tobagonians, I want to continue to urge you guys to mind your business. All right, mind the business of Tobago and Tobagonians. Look out for one another. All right, and support one another. It only would bode well for the all of Tobago to get to where we want to be as the greatest little island on the planet. All right? My name is Edison Thomas. Until next week, I bid you adieu. Good night from Tobago Updates Television Studios.